Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Inside Rovers Away Days feature. Rovers headed to Sunderland in Sky Bet League One on Saturday. Joining me to look ahead to that one, current Rovers defender and, of course, former Sunderland man, Ollie Younger, and editor of the Doncaster Free Press, Liam Hoden. Ollie, a strange one this weekend, I suppose. A pretty quick turnaround from Tuesday night and going up against your old club as well.
Yeah, I think it's good that we've got a quick turnaround. Obviously, we want to put things right from Tuesday, and against the former club, a big club, so it'll be a good occasion for us.
A big one, I imagine, for yourself and obviously family members as well, going back up there so soon after leaving a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, obviously it'll be nice to go back up there just for the week, and we can get the 3 points rather than them this time.
Liam, it's two teams going into it, both off the back of disappointing results. Rovers obviously beaten 5-0 by Rotherham. Sunderland 6-0 at Bolton last time out, which meant another managerial casualty. And I suppose it's a case of which team reacts better to get themselves back on the board again.
Yeah. I imagine the pressure will be on Sunderland, the greater pressure to react. Obviously, expecting a very big crowd up there this weekend. Feels like the start of another new era for them. So there'll be big pressure on them to bounce back, obviously, with their aspirations this season as well. But certainly is on Rovers too. You know, they've got to pick themselves up very, very quickly and get back on, continue with that good progress that we're making, that improvement, and start picking up some results.
Do you think it shows just how desperate Sunderland are to make it happen this year? The fact that they're third, it's the best campaign they've had really for a few years in this division. They look like they were on to something. All of a sudden, a bad result and maybe a sticky spell in terms of performances, and Lee Johnson's job was gone.
This is it. It's got to the point now where, you know, they've been in that division a long time. It's very easy to get bogged down. I think they've gone about things in the right way this year in terms of how they've gone about recruitment and things like that. They did look to be on the right track, but it's an exceptionally competitive promotion race in League One this season. You've got clubs like Rotherham the other night, Wickham as well. Very, very established. Very, you know, they know what they're all about. They stick to a plan and it works and it brings them success. And you're mixing that with teams that have got a bit more financial might as well. It's so competitive, and you can't really afford to not be fully on it. And that looks to be why Sunderland have reacted.
Ollie, Sunderland announced early on Friday that they were ticking past the 35,000 mark in terms of the crowd on Saturday. As a player, that must be something you're all relishing going into that.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously the bigger the crowd, the better it is for the players. It's a big occasion, and it's the ones that you want to play in. Obviously, with more fans and everyone to see. So, as players, we're looking forward to it.
Is it the perfect chance to react? Because leading up to that Rotherham game, Rovers had performances. Obviously, the result at MK Dons, and then Plymouth could have been out of sight at half time. Could have been 3 or 4 up. Is it important that you don't let that one result in midweek affect your confidence too much and try and sort of treat it as an anomaly if you can?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we are hurting from that, but we've got to be quick to put it right and try put it right this weekend, obviously against Sunderland. So, yeah, we've got to regroup, get back together, and be positive and try to get back to them performances and try to get a result.
The atmosphere will obviously be bouncing before kick-off, but as a former Sunderland player, you'll know as well that the crowd up there, if it's not going all their side's way, it can turn quite quickly, can't it, as well? If we can go there and frustrate, all of a sudden it's the Sunderland players who will be feeling that pressure. Yeah,
well, they're a very passionate bunch, obviously. They love the football, and Sunderland really shouldn't be in the League One. It's not a League One club, it's probably a Premier League club, it's a big club, so obviously they've got the expectation. But yeah, if we can go there and frustrate, start off well, then we can use the crowd to our advantage in that case.
Liam, it shows what Rovers are up against in this division in terms of the financial clout. Some of the teams are coming with. Sunderland casually re-signing Jermaine Defoe on deadline day, a man who's at 39 years old now, got more than 300 career goals to his name. And at this level, it doesn't come any better than that, does it?
It really doesn't. You know, and clearly they've identified that he's still got something to offer, even at that age, even though he's not been playing a massive amount of football in recent times. The good feeling that it's clearly generated up there is massive. You know, they're celebrating it as a big homecoming. So there'll be all eyes on him and expectations that he'll banging a few goals between now and the end of the season. And with the quality of the player he is, you won't back against it.
Well, it must be a really good time to test yourself against somebody like that, whether he starts or he comes off the bench. You've obviously got Ross Stewart there as well, who's top scorer in the division at present. But for somebody like Jermaine Defoe to be on the pitch, and whether it's you, whether it's Joseph Olowu marking him, you've got to be right at the top of your game, because you give him that half a sniff and he'll probably take it. Yeah,
well, his track record over the years, obviously he's played Premier League. I think he's got over 100 goals. He's played top level all his career, and international as well. So, yeah, you want to test yourself against some players. Yeah, I know he's getting on a bit now, and he's maybe not in his prime anymore, but still he's got all the experience and the skill set. So, yeah, it's good to test yourself against some players. Ross Stewart too. He's a good striker. Obviously, I think he's the top scorer in the division. So, just wondering where you want the players you want to test yourself against. 100%.
And it's an experienced squad in general up there, isn't it? I mean, you only have to look at the bench they had the other day. The likes of Alex Pritchard in there, Aidan McGeady not even in the squad, and the group they've got there should be performing right at the top end of the division.
Yeah, well, they've got a wealth of experience and depth in quality players. Obviously, they've been a big club. That's probably why. But yeah, they're a good group. Obviously, we've got to do everything we can to try and match them and beat them tomorrow.
Liam, it was a strange trip there last season, wasn't it? It looked like a hammering on paper for Rovers, but they missed 2 penalties at the Stadium of Light, and it was a game that could have gone either way. The fact that Lakilo and Taylor missed penalties took it away from Rovers. On another day, it could have quite easily been 4-4.
It really could. I mean, and weirdly, to concede 4 goals and it not feel like a hammering, because of the manner in which all 4 goals came. They were all identical goals, and it weren't like Rovers were backs to the wall for 90 minutes. As you said, they could have easily got something out of that one. So, and they've had good night, some decent nights up there as well. The one where they battled out that 0-0 draw, which were a bit more backs to the wall and showed good resolve. And there's likely to be elements of that required this weekend.
It's the first of 3 games in a row against former Premier League opposition, which again shows the fact that all the big clubs are starting to filter down in the footballing pyramid, aren't they? As we said, Sunderland have been in there for a few years now. And again, Ipswich on Tuesday night are also finding it tough to get out of this division. So Rovers, where they are now, they're going to have to start picking up points against these big boys.
They can't afford to do anything else. This is the run of fixtures that they've got. If you think you can ride it out and give yourself really kickstart the fight against relegation after that, you're going to end up too far behind. It's a fair old gap already, so they've got to be work done over these next few weeks to claw some of that gap back. And once you get through this period, then you can start sort of looking to string wins together. You just can't afford to just write it off. And I don't think no professional sports person, no professional sports club is ever going to just write off any game. There shouldn't be. That they shouldn't be in that position if that's the case. It's going to be tough, but you've got to back Rovers to go out there and battle hard and take whatever they can over these next few weeks.
And what a result would do, Ollie, is give the boys massive confidence and pick them up off the floor after Tuesday night. Yeah,
it would be the perfect way to bounce back, obviously. From Tuesday, we'll be beating a big team, obviously, if we beat Sunderland, and it should give us a bit of lift again to go again Tuesday. So, yeah, obviously we need to start picking up points, and if we can do that on Saturday, it'll be a big boost for us all.
Has the manager been in your ear asking for maybe a few tips and inside tricks on what to expect from Sunderland?
Yeah, I've put a few ideas across and a few thoughts, but then again, with the manager going, we might get changed, but we'll have to see tomorrow.
Is it a difficult one as a team to prepare for, really, when the manager does change? Because the new guys, the temporary managers, could come in and make 10 changes, or they could keep it the same and back the players that were in to get a reaction themselves.
Yeah, I think it can be, but I think the main thing is we have to concentrate on ourselves and what we do. I think we'll probably become a bit of a victim to that on Tuesday. So obviously, to go this Saturday. I think it's going to be different anyway. You never really know what to. You can always put a plan together, but you can never 100% be spot on. Or certain with anything with team selections or styles of player, whatever. Obviously, you get your analysis and you do have a look at your teams, and you do have a template or an idea in mind. But no, definitely, we'll have to see this weekend what they do.
Liam, is that the biggest factor for Rovers this weekend, you feel? I know Gary McSheffrey mentioned it after Tuesday night. Maybe Rovers were a bit too focused on what Rotherham were going to do on Tuesday. If they go to the Stadium of Light and play their own game and give it a real go as they have done in recent weeks, then nobody can have too many complaints.
I think that's it. I think it's difficult because you're coming up and it's understandable why you would kind of guard against what the opposition teams are going to do, particularly when they are as strong as what Rotherham were on Tuesday and what Sunderland are going to be this weekend. It's difficult. It's easy to get drawn into that. They've got to worry about it. You know, they've got to put some focus on it. It's clear you won't really be doing your job if you didn't analyse what threats you're going to come up against. But you've got to also, I think the primary concern has got to be what you do when you've got the ball and how you can. It might be that you don't have an awful lot of the ball, but when you have, what you're going to do with it. And we've seen in recent weeks Rovers doing really, really well at that when they have kind of dominated the ball for stretches of games, or like at MK Dons, that fantastic day down there, what they do when they don't see as much of it. So that's got to be a factor, a big factor this weekend, and hopefully we see some real positivity from Rovers at the Stadium of Light.